Zambia is richly endowed with forests, covering about 66% of our land area. These forests are not just trees. They are our lungs, our water towers, our wealth, and the livelihoods of millions, man and animal, and plant life alike. Yet, each year, Zambia loses over 250,000 hectares of forest. The drivers are many: charcoal production, unsustainable agriculture, urban expansion, mining. What lies beyond the statistics? What are the unseen effects, especially from a legal and development perspective? Deforestation is the cutting down, clearing, or removal of forests or trees from a particular area, usually for human activities. The ripple effects of Zambia's deforestation crisis are: deforestation accelerates climate change. Fewer trees mean reduced carbon absorption and increased emissions. Zambia is already feeling the impact: prolonged droughts, erratic rainfall, and reduced agricultural yields. Forests are natural supermarkets for rural and urban communities, providing fruits, mushrooms, honey, and other resources. Their loss strips millions of their traditional food sources, heightening hunger and malnutrition. As forests disappear, land becomes contested. Customary landholders, investors, and communities often clash over dwindling natural resources, putting pressure on both customary and statutory legal systems. What does the law say? Is our legal framework sufficient to address these challenges? The Zambian Constitution recognizes every citizen's right to a clean and healthy environment. In Article 8, the Constitution promotes sustainable development, good governance, and human dignity. And in Article 9, it gives the state the responsibility to ensure policies and actions protect natural resources, like forests, for present and future generations. Zambia has environmental laws that relate to forestry management, such as the Forest Act, No. 4 of 2015. The Act provides a legal framework for the management, conservation, and sustainable utilization of forests in Zambia. It establishes mechanisms such as joint forest management, aimed at promoting participatory approaches to forest conservation. The Environmental Management Act, No. 12 of 2011. The Act is Zambia's principal legislation for environmental protection and sustainable natural resource management. The Act specifically mandates impact assessments for projects that may affect forests, ensuring that potential deforestation risks are identified and mitigated before project approval. However, despite these provisions, enforcement is weak. Several media reports have shown that illegal logging syndicates still thrive. Forest reserves are encroached upon. Charcoal burners operate with little regulation. A desk review conducted has shown that our laws are fragmented, with little coordination between forestry, agriculture, mining, energy, and land sectors. Worse still, many customary landholders lack adequate legal standing to challenge large-scale deforestation projects on ancestral land. This is where the crisis deepens. Without legal protection, the most vulnerable bear the brunt of deforestation. So where do we go from here? How can the law be strengthened to act as both a shield and a sword in this fight? Deforestation is not a standalone problem. It cuts across sectors. So how can Zambia develop integrated legislation linking forestry, energy, agriculture, mining, and land use planning? Should enforcement mechanisms be strengthened as part of the solution? Should the law provide for stiffer penalties? How can community forest management provisions set out in the law and the legal power and incentives of communities to protect the forests they depend on be enhanced? Can the law facilitate investment in alternative energy solutions? Can it create incentives for clean energy, thereby reducing dependence on charcoal while promoting affordable and accessible alternatives? Climate change is here, and deforestation is accelerating it. How can we mainstream environmental protection into national development planning to halt this crisis? Deforestation in Zambia is more than trees being cut down. It is a silent crisis eating away at our economy, our environment, our food systems, and our laws. Let us remember, Every tree felled without accountability carries with it the silent scream of a child facing hunger, a farmer facing drought, and a community facing displacement. The law must rise to meet this challenge, because the cost of inaction will be too great for Zambia to bear. The Zambia Law Development Commission stands ready to review, recommend, and push for reforms that protect our forests and secure our future. Thank you.